Posteriorly is present the buttocks. Posterior is the buttocks, and laterally or on the sides it is the upper medial aspect of the thigh. So they are forming the superficial boundaries. So the superficial boundaries, they are formed by the soft tissue structures. So this is in case of male, this is in case of female. Now we are going towards the deep boundaries. Now the deep boundaries, they are formed by the pelvic outlet, right? Now here I have drawn the pelvic outlet. Can you see this? Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
So what I have drawn these two oblique pink lines and two oblique yellow lines. In the upper end of this pink line, now this is the black line. So this black line indicates the pubic symphysis. These two pink lines, pink structures, they are the ischiopubic rami. Below it is the sacrotuberous ligament, right? And below this red line indicates the coccyx, right? So this is coccyx, this is pubic symphysis, and on the sides, what I have drawn this blue line. This blue line indicates the ischial tuberosities. First, see the bony landmarks. Upper end is the pubic symphysis, lower end is the coccyx, laterally is present the ischial tuberosities. Now this pink line, this is an imaginary line is drawn. So these are the boundaries of the pelvic outlet, right? So the pelvic outlet boundaries, so anteriorly it is the pubic symphysis. Below the pubic symphysis, here what I have shown, so here. So this is the arcade pubic ligament. So here there is present a ligament that is joining the lower part of the pubic symphysis. So that is known as the arcuate pubic ligament. So anteriorly, upper it is a pubic symphysis. Then on the sides it is the conjoint ischiopubic rami. Laterally it is the ischial tuberosities. Lower it is the sacrotuberous ligament, and most posterior is the coccyx. So here you can see this is the pubic symphysis. So that is forming the anterior boundary. Inferior margin of the pubic symphysis and the arcuate pubic ligament. Then this one is the conjoint ischiopubic rami. This is the ischial tuberosities. This is the sacrotuberous ligament, and this one is the tip of the coccyx. So these structures, they are forming the boundaries of the pelvic outlet. So pelvic outlet forms the deep boundaries of the perineum. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this I have drawn the pelvic outlet. So that is the perineum. So after this, the perineum is divided into two triangles. Now what I have drawn, so I have this pink line in the center. You can see the pink line. Now pink line is an imaginary line that is joining the two ischial tuberosities. Now we join the two ischial tuberosities. Now by joining the two ischial tuberosities, so this pink line is an imaginary line. So by this imaginary line, now the perineum is divided into two triangles. So this is upper triangle, this is lower triangle. So this is anterior triangle, this one is the posterior triangle. Or you can say, now this whole perineum is divided into anterior perineum and the posterior perineum. The anterior perineum is known as a urogenital triangle, and the posterior is known as the anal triangle, right? So now in the center of this imaginary line, what I have drawn, this black point is the perineal body. So in this black point is the perineal body. Now in this diagram you can see, so these are the boundaries of the pelvic outlet. This is the ischial tuberosities. So an imaginary line is drawn joining the two ischial tuberosities. So by this, the perineum is divided into anterior triangle or the anterior perineum and the posterior triangle or the posterior perineum. This anterior triangle is known as the urogenital triangle. The posterior triangle is known as the anal triangle. Clear? Now the two triangles are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
In this, between the two pink lines, it is the urogenital triangle. Between the two yellow lines, this one is the anal triangle. Right? Then, now, what are the structures present in the urogenital triangle and what are the structures present in the anal triangle? So, in the urogenital triangle, in case of male, now this one is the urogenital triangle. Right? So this is a ischial tuberosities. So joining the two ischial tuberosities, above is the urogenital triangle, below is the anal triangle. At the center of this imaginary line is present the perineal body. So this one is the perineal body. Right? So what is the structures present in the urogenital triangle? So in case of male, it is the urethra. So urethra, that is present at the bulb of the penis. So in male, it is the urethra. In female, it is the urethra and the vagina. Right? So this one is a urogenital triangle. So in male, it is the urethra and in the female, it is the urethra and the vagina. Right? So these are the structures present in the urogenital triangle. Now below, this one is the anal triangle. So what are the structures present in the anal triangle? In both the sexes, in the anal triangle is present the anal canal. Right? So in both sexes, in the anal triangle is present the anal canal. So structures in the anal triangle and the urogenital triangle are clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now, today we are concerned with the urogenital triangle, right? So this one is the urogenital triangle. So in this, now you can see, now between these pink lines, this one is the urogenital triangle. So what are the boundaries of the urogenital triangle? So it is present between the ischiopubic rami and the imaginary line of the ischial tuberosities. So this one is a urogenital triangle. So this whole is the urogenital triangle. Now what are the present or the contents of the urogenital triangle? So in the urogenital triangle, we will study all the contents of the urogenital triangle one by one. So in the urogenital triangle is present the urogenital diaphragm, perineal membrane, and the two pouches, superficial and deep perineal pouches. So in this, first is this is the urogenital triangle. So in the urogenital triangle are present the urogenital diaphragm. So this one is the urogenital diaphragm. Then is the perineal membrane. This green line is the perineal membrane. So here is the perineal membrane. Then is the superficial and deep perineal pouches. So today we will do the urogenital diaphragm and the perineal membrane in detail, and tomorrow we will discuss the superficial and deep perineal pouches. So these are one contents. Then there are present nerves and vessels. So the neurovascular bundle present in the perineum, it is in a fascial tunnel that is known as the pudendal canal. So there is a separate lecture on the pudendal canal also. So in the pudendal canal is present the pudendal nerve and internal pudendal artery. So pudendal canal, it is also present in the perineum, and you will study pudendal canal in detail. So in the pudendal canal is present the pudendal nerve and internal pudendal artery. So these are the structures that are or the contents of the perineum. So this part, this whole part I will cover, and there will be a separate lecture on the pudendal canal. Then come to the cutaneous innervation of the perineum, right? Cutaneous innervation of the perineum, it is by the dorsal nerve of penis in case of male and the dorsal nerve of clitoris in case of females. Then it is applied by the ilioinguinal nerve. It is applied by the ilioinguinal nerve. Then it is applied by the genital branch of genitofemoral, perineal branch of the posterior cutaneous nerve of thigh and the posterior scrotal nerves. So this is in case of male, and corresponding nerves are present in case of female. So the scrotal, they are the labial nerves. Then the penis, it is the clitoris. Then on the sides, now this is the perineal. This is the perineal branch of the posterior cutaneous, and this is the genital branch of the genito. So this is the perineal, and this whole is supplied by the genital branch of the genitofemoral. So this is the cutaneous innervation of the perineum. So what is the importance of the cutaneous innervation of the perineum? Now this cutaneous innervation of the perineum, it is derived from the sacral plexus, right? So these are the branches coming from the sacral plexus. So cutaneous innervation, it is supplied by the branches derived from the sacral plexus from S2 and S2, from S2 to S4. So these segments also supply the parasympathetic fibers to the pelvic organs. So if there are diseases of the perineum, the patient, there will be a referred pain in the pelvic organ. So there is, the disease is related in the perineum, but the patient will feel the referred pain in the pelvic organs because of the similar dermatomes, right? So that is due to this, there is the referred pain from the perineum to the pelvic organs, right? Now, after that, in the perineum, there is the, so first is the skin. Then we have done the cutaneous innervation of the skin of the perineum. After the skin, it is the superficial fascia. The superficial fascia of the perineum is same as that of the anterior abdominal wall fascia. So what we have done in the anterior abdominal wall fascia is divided into two layers, outer fatty layer, inner membranous layer. So outer is the fascia of the camper, inner is the fascia of the scarpa, right? So the camper fascia, it is in continuation with the fascia of the surrounding structures, but more important is the deep fascia, right? So this we have already done in relation with the anterior abdominal wall. So here I will only explain on the diagram. So this one is the deep membranous layer of the anterior abdominal wall. So it lines the anterior abdominal wall. Then it lines the penis. So here it forms the superficial fascia of the penis, and in the penis it is replaced by the Buck's fascia. So in the penis it is known as the Buck's fascia. Then it lines the scrotum, and in the scrotum it is replaced by the dartois muscle. Then it comes in a relation with the perineum. So in a relation with the perineum, it is known as the Colles fascia, and the Colles fascia, it is attached to the perineal membrane, or it is attached to the lower part of the perineal membrane and ultimately to the perineal body. So this is attached to the perineal body. So this one is the perineal body. So this we have already done. So this one is the superficial fascia. This is the deep membranous layer, right? So this is the deep membranous layer. Okay. So this we have done. This is clear to you now? Superficial and the deep.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we are going further. Now we are concerned with the urogenital triangle only, right? So in the urogenital triangle, there are present boundaries of the triangle. There are two pouches bounded by 3 facial layers. Now these 3 facial layers, what we have done, so first is the Colles fascia. Now here you can see, so what I have drawn, now here you can see, this one is the dark, this is the black, then this one is this is pink, and this one is yellow. Just a minute. Right? Now there are present 3 facial layers, one above the other. Now you can see, now this is first layer, that is black, pink is the second layer, and this green or yellow, this is somewhat green or yellow, so I will consider it as yellow. So this one is the third layer, right? So there are present 3 facial layers, one above the other. So this is the first, can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
So there are 3 layers. So this is one layer, that is black. This is second layer, which is pink, and this is the third layer, which is yellow, right? So this black layer, this is the Colles fascia. This is Colles fascia. Then this pink is the perineal membrane, and this yellow is the superior fascia of the urogenital triangle. So first understand these 3 layers, then after that I will explain from where these 2 layers, perineal and the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm, it comes. So 3 layers. So facial boundaries in the perineum, urogenital triangle, there are present 3 facial layers. So 3 layers of fascia are present. First is the Colles fascia, then is the perineal membrane, then is the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. So these are present one above the other. So here you can see lowermost is the Colles fascia. So that is in relation with the lower part of the genitalia. So this one is the Colles fascia, right? This is the perineal membrane. This one is the superior layer of urogenital diaphragm, right? So there are 3 layers. So first it is the Colles fascia, then it is the perineal membrane, and then it is the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. Now this urogenital diaphragm, so here they have shown only 2 layers, but here they have shown 3 layers. So here are the 3 layers. So this is Colles fascia, this is the perineal membrane, this is the superior layer. But here they have shown only 2 layers. Now this one is the perineal membrane, this is the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm, and in between they have shown the urogenital diaphragm. Now here you can see this third part. So what is present in the center? This you can see codes. Codes is written on this sheet. Can you see this? Right? Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
So suppose this is the urogenital diaphragm. They say urogenital diaphragm. So later on I will explain the urogenital diaphragm. Now this urogenital diaphragm, it is covered by 2 layers of endopelvic fascia. One is the superior layer and other is the inferior layer, right? So in the center, this one is the urogenital diaphragm. This urogenital diaphragm, it is enclosed by 2 layers of endopelvic fascia. So this is the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. This is the inferior layer. The inferior layer of urogenital diaphragm is known as the perineal membrane, and the superior is the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. So inferior layer, it is the inferior layer of urogenital diaphragm is known as the perineal membrane. And these layers, they fuse posteriorly with each other. So posteriorly, these layers, they fuse with each other. So posteriorly, here, they fuse with each other. So here it is the, now the 3 layers are clear. 3 layers are clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
That are the 3 layers of the fascia present in the perineum, right?
Ma'am, excuse me, ma'am.
हाँ जी बेटा.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the point you said that urogenital diaphragm is enclosed between which two things?
Urogenital diaphragm I will explain later on. So there is a full full part in the urogenital diaphragm. So I will repeat this urogenital diaphragm also later on, right?
Okay, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am. Thanks.
then, so that is the layers and the urogenital diaphragm. Then in between these 3 layers, right? So what we have done, 3 layers. We have done these 3 layers. One is the Colles fascia, second is the perineal membrane, third is the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. So in between these 3 layers, there are present 2 pouches. So they are the superficial and deep perineal pouches, right? So between the Colles fascia, so this is Colles fascia. So between Colles fascia, please mute yourself. So this is very, very important topic. So please mute yourself. So this is Colles fascia. This one is the perineal membrane. So between Colles fascia and the perineal membrane, this is a superficial pouch, right? Between the perineal membrane and the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm, this is the deep pouch. So deep pouch is present superior. Is it clear? So this one is the Colles fascia. This is the perineal membrane. So in between these two, this is the superficial pouch. Between the perineal membrane and the superior layer of urogenital diaphragm, this is the deep pouch, right? So here also I will explain. So here, this one is the Colles fascia. This is perineal membrane. So in between Colles fascia and the perineal membrane, this one is the superficial pouch. Between the perineal membrane and the superior layer of urogenital diaphragm, this one is the deep perineal pouch. So here they have shown, so this one is the superficial perineal pouch because this one is the Colles fascia. This is the perineal membrane. This is the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. Urogenital diaphragm, this one is a deep pouch. So these 3 layers, so this is the Colles fascia, this is the perineal membrane, this one is the superior layer of the urogenital diaphragm. All these 3 layers, they meet posteriorly at the perineal body. So is it clear? If you have any problem, you can ask right now. Is it clear? I am trying my best to understand the perineum because it is very, very difficult topic for you. Is it clear?
Ma'am,
Yes,
what is the position of diaphragm in it?
Urogenital diaphragm. Urogenital diaphragm, I will tell you. So now next we will discuss the urogenital diaphragm. So the extravasation of urine we have already done. Dr. Anjana has also discussed the extravasation of urine, and I have also discussed the extravasation of the urine in a relation with the lower limb. So this is, I think this is clear to you, right? So here is the rupture of the urethra. First the deep perineal pouch is filled, then the superficial perineal pouch is filled, then it will enter into the anterior abdominal wall, then the scrotum and the anterior penis and the anterior abdominal wall. So this, I will not discuss this because we have already discussed it. So next we are doing the urogenital diaphragm. Now what we have done? So we have done, this is a urogenital triangle, right? So this urogenital triangle, it is filled or it is lined by a fibrofacial sheath that is known as a urogenital diaphragm. Clear? Rishabh, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
है ना? तो जो यूरोजेनिटल हमारी ट्रायंगल है, यूरोजेनिटल ट्रायंगल में हमारा क्या आया है? यूरोजेनिटल डायाफ्राम. Clear? So the urogenital
Yes, ma'am.
diaphragm, it is a musculofacial partition. Musculofacial means it has muscular component and it has facial component and it is present. Now this is the ischiopubic rami, that is the pubic arc. So it is present across the pubic arc. So musculofacial partition across the pubic arc, right? So it is triangular in shape, right? So this one is the urogenital diaphragm, right? Now this urogenital diaphragm, it is present in relation with the pelvic outlet, right? So this hole is the pelvic outlet. Now this pelvic outlet, it is divided into anterior and posterior. So this pelvic outlet, so this urogenital diaphragm, it separates the pelvic cavity from the anterior part of pelvic outlet. Now here you can see, now this hole is the outlet. So this one is the outlet. So here anterior, this one is the urogenital diaphragm. So here is the urogenital diaphragm. So this urogenital diaphragm, it separates above. What is present above? So above this is present the pelvic cavity. So the urogenital diaphragm, it separates the anterior part of the pelvic outlet from the pelvic cavity. Now one thing, so diaphragm, so then you have confusion about the pelvic diaphragm also. So I will tell about the pelvic diaphragm and the urogenital diaphragm later on. So what is the position of urogenital diaphragm and what is the position of the pelvic diaphragm? So here is the urogenital diaphragm, and in relation with the anterior, the posterior triangle or the anal triangle is present the pelvic diaphragm, right? So the pelvic diaphragm is present in the relation with the anal triangle, and the urogenital diaphragm is present in the relation with the urogenital triangle. So what I have told you that the urogenital diaphragm, it is a musculofacial. It is musculofacial partition. Now this is your urogenital diaphragm, right? Now this central part, this one is the muscular part, and these two are the facial part, right? So this one is the muscular part of the urogenital diaphragm. So muscular part is formed by the two muscles, that is the sphincter urethrae and the deep transverse perineal muscles, right? So this one is the muscular part. So here you can see, now this one is a urogenital diaphragm that is present between the pubic arteries. So that is filling the gap between the ischial-pubic rami. So muscular component is formed by the muscle. So as it is muscular, so it is formed by the muscle. So muscle are two muscles. One is the sphincter urethrae, because here is present the urethra. So that is present in the relation with the urethra. So it is the sphincter urethrae. Second is the transverse perineal muscles. So these two muscles, they form the muscular component. Then this whole muscle, it is covered by the endopelvic fascia. So these two flaps, they are the endopelvic fascia. Clear? So this muscular part, it is enclosed within the endopelvic fascia like this. Clear? So it has, now you can see the urogenital diaphragm, it has two layers, superficial layer and the deep layer. Because this is in a relation, we are studying it in the lithotomy position. So this one is the urogenital diaphragm. So this one is the superior layer. This is the superior layer. This is the inferior layer, right? So the inferior layer is known as the perineal membrane. We have already discussed, and the superior remains as such as the superior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm. Is it clear? Is it
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
Okay. So this is the urogenital diaphragm. This central part is the urogenital diaphragm, which is, so this whole is a urogenital diaphragm, because it is musculofacial partition. So muscular component is formed by the sphincter urethrae and the deep transverse perineal. Then this whole muscle is enclosed within the endopelvic fascia. So this endopelvic fascia forms the two layers in which the muscle is enclosed. So that is why it is a musculofacial sheath. So the superior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm, inferior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm, Now this inferior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm is known as the perineal membrane. The superior remains as such, that is the superior fascia of the urogenital diaphragm. So here also they have shown so this hole is a urogenital diaphragm. So this is the inferior layer, this one is the superior layer, this is the muscular component. So this is the deep muscular component. So this one is a urogenital diaphragm. Then, so here also they have shown, so in the center, this is the muscular component. So in the center, this whole muscular component is enclosed within two fascial sheaths. So these two fascial sheaths, they come from the endopelvic fascia. So this is the superior layer, this one is the inferior layer. So the inferior layer is known as the perineal membrane, right? Then the attachments. So attachments, again, we have done the attachments. So the apex is attached to the pubic symphysis and the arcuate pubic ligament, and on the sides it is the ischiopubic rami, right? Then the relations. So more are the relations. Now this one is the urogenital diaphragm. So what is present below? So below is present the superficial perineal pouch. But because I have told you that this is the Colles fascia, this is the perineal membrane, this one is the superior layer. So here is the urogenital diaphragm. So here is the this is the superficial perineal pouch. So below, so this one is the urogenital diaphragm. So below is the superficial perineal pouch. Above, what is present above? Above it is the prostate. Above it is the prostate and the neck of the urinary bladder, and the anterior fibers of the levator ani. So this one is the levator ani. So above it is the prostate and the neck of the urinary bladder and the anterior fibers of the levator ani. So in front we have already done. So in front it is the arcuate pubic ligament. So this is the arcuate pubic ligament. Behind, now on the sides of the anal canal, suppose this one is the anal opening. On the sides of the anal opening is present the ischiorectal fossa. So behind it is the ischiorectal fossa and its contents. So there will be a separate class on ischiorectal fossa also. So right now you understand only urogenital diaphragm. Posterior to the urogenital diaphragm is present the ischiorectal fossa, right? So this one is this hole is the perineal membrane. So these are the relations of the urogenital diaphragm. So now the diaphragms, two diaphragms are there. One is the urogenital diaphragm, which is present in the urogenital triangle. Second is the pelvic diaphragm, which is present in the anal triangle, and it is also forms the floor of the pelvic cavity. So this one is a urogenital triangle. So here is a urogenital diaphragm. So here they have shown the urogenital diaphragm. In the pelvic triangle, it is the pelvic diaphragm, right? So when you see this, so above is the pelvic diaphragm and below is the urogenital diaphragm. So at the pelvic outlet, so this one is the pelvic diaphragm and this one is the urogenital diaphragm. Now both the diaphragms are clear. So between the thorax and the abdomen, this one is the normal chest diaphragm or the thoraco-abdominal diaphragm. So in the perineum, above is the pelvic diaphragm, below is the urogenital diaphragm. Pelvic diaphragm is formed by the levator ani. Urogenital diaphragm is formed by the deep transverse perineal muscles and the sphincter urethrae. So the diaphragms are clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So next are the structures within the diaphragm. So what are the structures present within the diaphragm? So within the diaphragm in male, it is a urethra and the bulbourethral glands. So in males, in the urogenital diaphragm is present the urethra and the bulbourethral glands. In females, it is the urethra and the vagina. So this hole is the urogenital diaphragm. So in female, it is a urethra and the vagina. In male, it is a urethra and the bulbourethral glands. So these are the structures that are present within the urogenital diaphragm. So then what is the function of the urogenital diaphragm? Now the urogenital diaphragm in male, so above the urogenital diaphragm is present the prostate and the neck of the urinary bladder. So in male, it supports the prostate and the neck of the bladder. So then what is the function of the urogenital diaphragm in case of females? In case of females, in the urogenital diaphragm is present the vagina. So it constricts the vagina in females. So in female, it constricts the vagina. In male, it supports the prostate and the neck of the bladder. So the urogenital diaphragm is clear? Hanji?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now next important topic is the perineal membrane. This we have already done. So this is a strong triangular sheet which stretches across the urogenital diaphragm. Please mute yourself. We have already shortage of time. So this one is the perineal membrane that is present across the urogenital triangle. So it is the inferior layer of the urogenital triangle. So here they have shown the perineal membrane after removing the urogenital, the muscular part and the superior layer. So the inferior layer of the urogenital diaphragm is known as the perineal membrane. It is triangular in shape that stretches across the urogenital triangle and it is present in between the pubic rami, in between the two pubic rami. So this one is the perineal membrane. So it is present. So below the perineal membrane is present the superficial perineal pouch. Above it is the deep perineal pouch. So it is present between the superficial and deep perineal pouches. So it separates the superficial perineal pouch from the deep perineal pouch. Okay. The perineal membrane, it is triangular in shape. Now this is the perineal membrane. Can you see this? So it is triangular in shape. So it has apex and it has base. So base is formed by the thickened lower part of the inferior layer of the urogenital diaphragm that extends between the two ischial tuberosities, and in the center of this base is present the perineal body. Now this one is the base. So in the base that stretches between the two ischial tuberosities, so there is this is the base, and in the center of the base is present the perineal body, and on the lateral sides is present the ischiopubic rami, the apex. So this one is the apex. Apex is attached to the pubic symphysis, right? Now this red part is the pubic symphysis. The inferior part of the pubic symphysis is present the arcuate ligament. This yellow part, this is the arcuate ligament. Now below the arcuate ligament there is present the transverse perineal ligament, right? So there is present a gap. So here you can see this is the transverse perineal ligament, right? So now you can see there is thickening of the perineal membrane at the base. There is thickening of the perineal membrane at the apex. So this thickened part at the apex of the perineal membrane is known as the transverse perineal ligament, right? So as there is thickening, so the apex becomes flat, and this one is the arcuate pubic ligament. So between the arcuate pubic ligament and the transverse perineal membrane there is present a gap. Through this gap is the passage of the deep dorsal vein of penis in case of males. So there is the passage of deep dorsal vein of penis. So it is clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this one is the base, this is the apex. So there is thickening of the apex. So this forms the transverse perineal ligament. Then this is the arcuate pubic ligament that stretches between the two inferior border of the pubic symphysis. So because there is thickening of the apex, so this apex becomes flat. So between the arcuate pubic ligament and the transverse perineal ligament there is present a gap. Through that gap is the passage of deep dorsal vein of the penis. So this we have already done. So the base is attached to the perineal body. So base is present posteriorly. So this is the base which is present posteriorly. Apex forms the transverse perineal ligament. Laterally it is attached to the ischiopubic rami, medial surface of the ischiopubic rami. So that is the attachment of the perineal membrane. So then more important is the structures passing through the perineal membrane. So these are the structures passing through the perineal membrane in case of male and female. So this one is the gap. So through this gap in case of male, it is a passage of deep dorsal vein of penis and the dorsal nerve of penis. In case of females, it is the deep dorsal vein of clitoris and the dorsal nerve of penis. Then in male, in the center is present the urethra. In female, it is a urethra and the vagina, right? So on the sides, there is on the side of the urethra, there is the artery of bulb of penis and the duct of bulbourethral gland, because the bulbourethral glands, they are present within the urethral urogenital diaphragm. So they are pierce, they pierce the perineal membrane. In case of female, it is the artery of the bulb of the vestibule, then the dorsal artery of the clitoris, deep artery of the clitoris, right? So here is the dorsal artery of the penis and the deep artery of the penis. So in the relation with the posterior border, there is the posterior scrotal nerves and vessel in case of male, posterior labial nerves and vessels in case of female. So this is very, very important structures piercing the perineal membrane. So in today's lecture, you have to draw this diagram, structures piercing the perineal membrane. The rest of the diagrams I will tell you. So this is the structures piercing the perineal membrane. Then what is the clinical importance of the perineal membrane? Now the perineal membrane, urethra passing through the perineal membrane is called the membranous urethra, right? So the urethra passing through the perineal membrane is called the membranous urethra. So it is the shortest and least dilatable part of the urethra, and it does not contain any glands, right? So if you are doing the catheterization of the urethra, then you have to take care about the membranous part of the urethra, because it is the shortest and least dilatable part of the urethra. So that is the importance of the perineal membrane. So that's all for today. So I think I tried my best to understand the topic. So is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
तो आप आज इस टॉपिक को अच्छे से पढ़ोगे. अगर आप इसको अच्छे से पढ़ोगे तो so tomorrow we will discuss the perineal pouches, superficial and deep perineal pouches. Both the pouches, they are very, very important. So diagram first is the structures piercing the perineal membrane. This you have to draw. Then the pouches discuss later on.
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम.
हाँ जी बेटा.
मैम यूरोजेनाइटल डायफ्राम का दो जो हमने फेशिया पढ़े उसमें इंफीरियर जो फेशिया है एंड पेरिनियल मेम्ब्रेन है, वो दो अलग चीजें हैं या सेम चीज है?
नहीं. जो inferior layer of urogenital diaphragm, it is known as the perineal membrane.
ओके.
वो सेम चीज है. जो सुपीरियर है, सुपीरियर को तो उन्होंने सुपीरियर फेशिया ऑफ द यूरोजेनिटल डायफ्राम ही रहने दिया. जो inferior layer of urogenital diaphragm, it is known as the perineal membrane. Both the layers, they are coming from the endopelvic fascia. ठीक है? क्योंकि जो urogenital diaphragm, it is a musculofacial partition. So muscular part is formed by the muscles. Facial part is formed by the, suppose this is the muscle and this one is the facial part. So the facial part is coming from, तो जो दोनों facial part है, they are enclosing the muscle with a net. तो दोनों facial part के बीच में muscle पूरा enclose हो गया है. तो एक उसकी superior layer बन जाती है, एक उसकी inferior layer बन जाती है. The inferior layer is known as the perineal membrane. एक ये diagram आप बना लेना, this divisions of the triangle. ठीक है? एक ट्रायंगल जो डिवीजन ऑफ द पेरिनियम कर लो, या डिवीजन ऑफ द पेरिनियम कर लेना. एक ये डायग्राम बना लेना ताकि आपको अच्छे से समझ आ जाएगा, राइट? सो सिर्फ दो डायग्राम्स ही बनानी है आपने आज के लेक्चर में. So then, thank you. It is somewhat difficult topic.
Thank you, ma'am.
So understand, try to understand it. So if you have any query, we will discuss tomorrow, because tomorrow's lecture is also based on today's lecture, because all the boundaries of the superficial and deep perineal pouches, they are based on today's lecture. So tomorrow we will discuss the pouches. Then thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, beta, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.